Hello, I'm Christine Sinclair and I'm a lecturer in digital education at the University of Edinburgh. My online students have been telling me that seeing me on video, rather than just through exchange of texts, reassures them that I'm human, so I'm not a bot perhaps. I've sometimes argued that in video they're not seeing my most natural self. There are many retakes to try to get it right. I also worry about their being distracted by those human attributes, my age, for instance, or my accent. When my students and I present ourselves through texts, we can focus on the reasoning, not on how someone looks and sounds. I also feel I really get to know someone through their writing. Now that has been my position, but it's changing now. I've started to respond to student requests, and this has drawn attention to the way I've been steeped in the written word all my life, and I can see now that it's not the way everyone thinks and works. While I will always prefer the reading and writing over listening and speaking, others feel very differently. I like the asynchronicity. Some prefer immediacy, being in the moment. And my preference for asynchronicity can still be met through some forms of multimedia use, such as video. Arguably, the written word is now being toppled from its dominant position. More visual and multimodal technologies are appropriate for today's communications, though they're not without problems. So I've got a change of perspective influencing the way I teach. But I'm not doing lengthy video lectures in an attempt to capture my teaching forever. That seems a retrograde step to me, and I'm concerned about it as a potential policy. I think it shows a misconception about what teaching is. If I do show myself, it's to set up something or participate in it. My main focus is on dialogue. I also use video to demonstrate things, for example through screen captures, though again my main interest is in its potential to stimulate and provide a platform for dialogue. And so it's interesting to be asked to think about using video in policy formation and response. It seems a logical next step, especially as policy is getting so complex and also so remote from experience. What video offers is an opportunity to demonstrate policy in action, see actual responses, and particularly to engage in debate about meanings. We have to remember, though, that not everyone can see or hear. Not everyone has the technological capabilities, and I think above all, not everyone has the time. Video draws attention to the duration effect, and I can skim a text for its main impact, but it's harder to do with video. But the duration effect is also there with reading, text properly anyway. It is hidden because of print's more fully asynchronous nature. What I'm worried about with video is surveillance. Managers can watch me watching the video on policy to make sure I'm complying with it. I'm also worried about misuse. If I say something in a policy-making video, will my image and speech be captured, reused and repurposed by anyone? And this takes me back to my initial concern that I had over my students' need for my visual presence in teaching. Will I have to be a performer? Will I be judged not only on my reasoning abilities, but also on my appearance, my voice, my gender, my ethnicity, how well my body works? And will I be endlessly replayed to discover where I may have been wanting in any of these things? That sounds a negative note to end on. I'm not particularly worried about these aspects, as I think most people, including managers and students, have better things to do with their time than scrutinise videos for my weaknesses. And I think that video has huge potential for democratic processes, but we do need to be aware of its darker side too.